Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. It has been a little while since I have podcasted because I was sick last week, so I was trying to remember what I say at the beginning and everything. But yeah, it was Mother's Day weekend last weekend, and I was ill, but luckily my husband wonderfully helped take care of the kids so I could sleep. And it was funny because the weekend, or the day before Mother's Day, my husband his work had gotten this thing to where they had baseball tickets, and they had this drawing where you could enter and see if you could win the free tickets, like really good seats behind the dugout, like a couple rows up. And my kids had never been to a baseball game, and as a family of four, paying for everybody to go to a baseball game is kind of, it can be pricey. So we entered the drawing, or he entered the drawing, and he won. And I was feeling so sick, but it's free tickets, and we never, gotten to go to this. The kids had never, gotten to see a baseball game. And so I took a whole bunch of Dayquil, kind of had myself really just trying to get through it when we went to the baseball game. And I have stuff to show you from knitting, but I was not feeling good that day either. And then I think that just kind of pushed it to where I had used up any reserves I had. So on Mother's Day, I just was out the entire day. My voice is a little better now. It may sound still a little odd, but I have some coffee with me. Kind of soothe my throat as I go. Thought about doing tea because it's perfect, like overcast day for tea, but I need to kind of wake myself up a little bit. So, finished objects. I have finished my Rain on Princess Street shawl by Melanie Berg, and this is done out of my yarn, Open Skies, and this is my silky merino base, which I think there's a couple skeins of it in the Gothic Romance color up in the shop right now, if you'd like to make the shawl. And it's a silky merino. It's my tonal, which I don't do solids, I do tonals. So you can see on this that it all looks like, once you knit it up, the thing I love about tonals is that once you knit it up, it looks like it's a solid color, right? But if you look closely, there are bits that are peach, there are bits that are like a light pink, there are bits that are even almost a white, there are bits that are an orangey peach, an orangey pink, so many different colors, and the tonality of that adds depth to give it a really gorgeous color to the shawl that I don't think you get when you have solids. That's why I kind of loved working with tonals. So that's what it looks like. It has kind of a mesh border on it that I was working on last time you saw it, and then it has these little almost raindrops on the main body of the shawl, and it's huge, and it smells wonderful because I use my tough woolens that I use for all my personal blocking, and the yarns that I do for the shop I also do tufted woolens. But the only thing I wish that I'd done differently with this shawl is I don't have any really sophisticated blocking implements because I hardly ever use them. So what would have made the shawl even, like, I think stand out even better is I just blocked it by, getting it wet and hanging it up and kind of letting it, the weight of the shawl and the beautifulness of the silk gives it drape. But if I had blocking wires like those, the only ones that come to my mind are the Infinity blocking wires. What I would have done is taken the blocking wires and put them through each of the picot bind off parts on the shawl, and then I would have pinned out each of those to kind of give them a little more defined look. It looks fine right now. It's just kind of like these pretty picot bind off, but it's not super noticeable that that's what it is. So that's my finished shawl. And it's a big one. It used up almost all of the yarn. And then on to my works in progress. Now, these are the socks that I said that I took, and I only knit a couple rows of them because I was feeling so bad during the baseball game. But this is in a Diana Kutcher St. Patrick's Day bag. It's just been living in my car. And I honestly just work on them a couple rows at carpool pickup, or I've been trying to take them out more often, like at the baseball game and stuff like that, so that they won't take like 5 years to finish. But this yarn is some fishnets in the Canadiana colorway, and I'm doing the Smooth Operator socks by Susan B. Anderson. I started these during the month of Susan B. Anderson, and which was March And since I just work on them very rarely, they haven't grown a ton, but I am now through all the stripes. And so they're designed, the yarn is designed to look like those blankets that you see. And my husband, I was asking him around the car yesterday if he would like these, because I really want to have more socks for him, and I think they're guy colors. And he said, yeah, but he's a little bit nervous because it's white stripes next to the colors, and I don't even know if you remember this, but I won't even say like what yarn it was, but it was basically the most I have ever paid for sock yarn in my life. Like, it's, you know, kind of crazy the amount, but I had gotten this for him because he really wanted socks in these certain colors, and I had seen it and I had purchased it, and I knew right away, I was doing them I think last summer, I knew right away seeing it was red, white, and blue, that I needed, the first time I washed them, I thought, to use a color catcher, just to be smart. I think that's always smart when you're doing yarn from, you know, you never know, like something might have happened, or I don't know. But so I used a color catcher the very first time that I washed those. That grabs any excess dye. And I thought, since I'd used the color catcher and there was a ton of dye that came out the first time, that I would be safe the second time to wash them all together. And I wasn't. And he now has pink and dark pink and light pink and blue socks, which is very sad because how much I paid for that yarn. But so hopefully this won't do that, or maybe I'll just give it, this is a completely different dyer than the ones, and this is a lot more economical priced, I think like $20 less than what I paid for the other. But hopefully I can just give it a citric acid bath as a precaution. I'm sure this yarn is great and won't have any problems, but just as a precaution, and then kind of use color catchers maybe every time if I have a sock that is a large portion of it white. But since this is basically just a cake, I don't know if you can see it, but I think I'm just going to I'm going to do the smooth operator for the heel, but I think I'm just going to knit a giant tube so that they can be as long as possible for him, and then cut it in half and do the toes and the heels in maybe this orangey yellow color, so they can just be nice big house socks for him. So those are my running about socks. I'm knitting those on, I believe it's 9-inch circs or 8-inch circs, and I've been doing that little bits at a time because the way I have to hold it to make it work for me kind of makes my hands a little sore because it's not how I'm used to it, but I'm kind of building up my strength in those muscles for that, so that I can do it more often, because it is enjoyable to do all kinds of different sock knitting methods. And the next thing I have, none of these are in project bags, none of the other things, because kind of the state of my life recently has just been chaos with being sick and being gone and trying to get things clean again, because you know, when you're gone or when you're sick, if you're the main person who likes things clean, everything else kind of gets insanely messy when you're unable to keep it up. But so nothing is in project bags. But this is some Moon River yarn in a lighthearted colorway, and I am knitting for my daughter the Raindrops pullover. And last time you saw this, I was just a little ways into the yoke, which has these cute, like, I guess there's almost a rain pattern here, because the rain on Princess Street and the raindrop pullover. But I think this is going to be adorable on her. And I have now finished the yoke, and I've split for the sleeves. It's kind of rolling up, but I've knit, I don't know, 1 or 2 inches into the body. And I have 2 skeins of this yarn, so I'm going to try to make it pretty long in the body, like almost tunic length, so she can wear it for even longer. And even though she's only 5, I'm doing the 6 to 8 size because I have the yarn for it, and I'd like it to last as long. That's kind of what I do with my knitwear for my daughter, is I knit it a size or 2 bigger, and then she wears it. She can wear it for 3 or 4 years, because she'll wear it when it's big, when it fits, and then when it's a little bit too small, which is kind of where all her stuff is right now. So that's why I'm trying to focus on knitting her a couple of new things. So socks for my husband, little pullover for my daughter. The next thing is something I grabbed that I had just barely started when you last saw it, and then I kind of put it down, hadn't worked on it in a bit. But this is not a TinCanKnits. This is another Melanie Berg pattern, and this is the Tane shawl, and this is going to be, I've decided, a gift for my mother-in-law for this Christmas, because it's the way the increases are done, they're very rapid, so that it gives it almost an elongated shawl or a scarf appearance, and the way the border is done kind of lends itself to looking like a scarf too, so I think that she will enjoy it. And it is knit in Quince & Co. Owl, which is an alpaca wool blend, I believe, and there's just tiny bits of the balls left, but it is going to be really warm, and she lives she lives in the Midwest, but it's more northern than I am, so she does get snow as opposed to in Texas. We don't really. So the last time you saw this, it was, oops, it's upside down. It was just this little triangle, so it's right here. So that is how much it increases, because it increases so rapidly. And I did have this on my driftwood needles. I purchased one circular needle to try, or two different size circulars, 5 and a 7. And I had this on my 7 circular, but it outgrew it. So this is on my longest. I actually had this cable for a blanket that I did. This is a 60-inch cable, and it's almost too long for this, so it's going to get very big. I am over I'm over a third of the way, no wait, I'm over 2/3 of the way down with the body, and then over a third of the way down with the whole shawl, because the border is pretty big as well. So I just have a few more rows to grow it out, and then the border to put on, which the border looks pretty neat, so I'm excited to do that. And I'm liking this because it's knit on bigger needles and bigger yarn, but the balls of yarn that I have for this only come in, I believe, 50 gram. The owl comes in like 50 grams, so you're constantly getting to use a new skein, so that feels really exciting. It's like a silly exciting thing, right, that you're getting to go through balls of yarn quickly. And then the last thing I have is a new cast on that, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll seen it. But if you don't, then you haven't. And this is a charity hat that I am doing. I'm going to try to get a bunch of these done up for this summertime, so I can take them with me to turn in at a knitting retreat I'm going to that has like a charity thing that they collect hats for homeless, I believe it is. But this is some of my old stash. It is Spartacles, I believe, Spartacles Dye Works. I don't think she's dyeing anymore, Mary Gail, but this was from the Gilmore Girls Yarn Club back a while ago. I don't remember the exact year. It was 2014, 2013, but this is like the Willy Wonka candy colorway, I think, and it's a quote from Gilmore Girls, which I think I've seen that episode. I've only seen season 1 of Gilmore Girls. I started watching and I enjoyed it. I just don't really binge watch shows. And there's a reference, I think, about whenever you watch Willy Wonka, you have to have lots of candy or something like that. But this is another TinCanKnits pattern, because for May I'm trying to knit some TinCanKnits. And this is the Barley hat, and it's done in worsted, and it's a great pattern for variegated worsted weight yarns. And I almost wanted, there are like a couple yarns in the shop right now that I think would be beautiful as Barley's, like the Sense and Sensibility is in a worsted and the Titanic are in worsted, and I think those colors would look great in Barley. So I was always thinking, like, how many Barleys can I knit up? Should I take some skeins from the shop and knit up a Sense and Sensibility Barley for myself? And I might, depending on how much I can get done, because I also want to knit up at least 2 or 3 baby hats this month for friends that are having babies, because I have packages that I'm getting ready for them, and there aren't enough hand knits in the packages. I don't even think there are any, maybe one thing. But so this is the hat for the homeless. I hope to get a few of those done. So that's all of my knitting, and not get any spinning done. I need to go through my fiber and kind of decide what I still love and what I don't, take some to friends, because I'm just not spinning as much as I used to. I really just don't have as much time as I used to. I'm finding that as the kids are getting older and they're getting into more things and they're needing help with homework and, you know, just all kinds of, you know, stuff, and yarn dyeing and different things like that I'm just not having as much time. Like, I really want to sew more, I really want to cross stitch more, but there's not enough hours in the day. If you find a way to stretch time or freeze time, let me in on your secret. I can't do the no sleeping thing. I have some friends that get a lot done because they only sleep 3 or 4 hours, and I cannot function on that. I need my sleep a lot. So yeah, that is all for the knitting and then the spinning wannabe section. And then I'm going to show some enabling that I did not buy, but I did a swap with Knitting in France was so sweet. She contacted me on Instagram and asked if I would like to do a swap, which of course, if there's any indie dyers out there, please, I would love to do swaps with you for my yarn and your yarn and kind of get to try some new stuff without having to spend a lot of money. But so she sent me a very cute package. She's in France. J'adore France. But I can't, let's not even try to speak foreign languages right now because I've been having some neurological issues. I need to go in for some testing stuff, but I have to, find time and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is an Eiffel Tower. She did me some one-of-a-kind yarns. This is beautiful. These like whites and grays and speckles of purple. It's just so my colors. Thank you so much. And this is her 75-25 one-of-a-kind. And it's so nice. And then we have, whoops, stuff is sliding off. She sent me these two things because she had recently been, I believe, to Iceland, and they're 200% alpaca yarn. And then this sparkle gorgeousness, which is also a one-of-a-kind color, and it's a 75-25. 75-20 and then 5% silver selena. And it's very soft and just these gorgeous colors. My daughter said that she wants socks out of these, sparkle socks. So that's going to be for her. And there's the Knitting in France tag. And she also sent me a magazine from Iceland, which is over there. She sent me this cute little pouch full of these wonderful lobster claw, not lobster claw, I guess they're, I don't know what those are called, but they're clasps. They have little owls on them. There's a whole bag full of them. And I don't know if you saw in my chain shawl, there was a little ice cream cone, and that she also sent. So there were a whole bunch of little like progress keepers. Oh, here's what. So she sent a whole bunch of these. So I might even like use some of these for like swaps and stuff because there's a whole bunch of this ice cream cone, and it has a little bow on it. And then she sent me a little needle stopper. It's a panda, so cute, and you should put it on the end of your needle to stop it, and just all kinds of wonderful things. So thank you so much. It was so great to get to swap with you, and I know she's gotten her package, which the post office delivers really quickly to France. I don't anytime I've mailed something there, it's gone really fast, so that's amazes me. And she got it, and I'm glad she liked it, and it was really fun putting together some stuff. I sent her some yarn and some David's tea because I didn't know if, I'm sure she can get it there, but I didn't know if she'd had it, and different soaps and little things like that. So I loved putting that together. And then for group news over at the BookishStitcher podcast group on Ravelry, since I've been sick and gone and stuff, I have not really been on there much because when I'm sick, just the thought I can't like typing and trying to put stuff together, it would not sound like I spoke English. I was just so tired. I was in such a fog, and there were days that I got up to like do one thing and then I just went back to bed for hours because it just felt so bad. And yeah, so over there we currently have, I believe the signups for this are over, and I'm sorry because I meant to mention it on the podcast and I kept forgetting. I'm sorry, Irish. But there's a spring swap going on. I believe that's closed. But we're doing dishcloths or shorty sock stuff. And then You know, we have TinCanKnits month, and there's the Knit with Open Skies yarn, and you can, it goes, the Knit with Open Skies yarn is anything you knit with my yarn through the end of this month. You could even have time to, you know, if you wanted, grab a skein of worsted and knit yourself a barley hat before the end of the month, and then that enters you for a gift card to the yarn store, so you can knit yarn and then win some more. So that will be up for a while. And just everybody who did the sweater knit along, those are some beautiful sweaters that you guys finished, and I'm just so proud of you. Yenny Knits, you're awesome. You should go check out her sweater that she finished on there. It's gorgeous, and she said that she'd had it on the needles for a while. And so that is all the group stuff that I can think of. I always forget stuff in the group news because there's always a ton going on over there, different threads. And we're not the most active and chatty group, but there is a lot of threads that you could participate in if you so choose. You know, there's what are you knitting on, there's reading, there's a thing of what are your goals for the week, there's, you know, all the different cows and stuff like that. So there is stuff over there, and we have some great moderators who help me when I am not always able to get on there or not always feeling up to getting on there, and they're amazing. And thank you, Threesome. I need to do something special for the three of them, put together a little like thank you package, because they really are so much better people than I am at keeping up with that kind of stuff. And then, okay, so last thing before the book is Open Skies yarn on Etsy is the yarn that I dye. Well, I haven't been dyeing I haven't dyed anything in a little bit because I had that trunk show that I vended, not trunk show, I had that show that I vended at, and I'm not really gonna probably dye much till most of that is sold, just because I want to like wait till when I sell that to buy more yarn, just to kind of keep it so that I'm not like spending a whole bunch of money that I don't have for bare yarn to dye, if that makes any sense. But so for the first time ever in the Etsy shop, these debuted at the Yellow Rose, and I have a couple left, and they will be going up into the Etsy store, and I wanted to show them to you. This is my newest little mini kit. I call it a kit, but there's no bag or pattern. It's just kind of fun things that I put together. But this is called, I just have fun with colors and stuff. This is called Beach at Sunset. And so it's a mini skein kit, and it comes with, if you get the sparkle, it comes with a silver dollar zipper pull. So that's super cute. I love doing the attention to little detail thing. And it also comes with some tea, and I got special thank you stickers that have a picture of the ocean and a seashell. So it's just, I really like putting these together and kind of coordinating colors. And then if you get the not sparkle, you will also get a themed progress keeper. This one has a starfish, there's seahorses, there's shells, there are all kinds of different things. And so these will hopefully, if you're watching this, these will already be up in the Etsy store. I'm going to go do this while the podcast is uploading. But so these are already going to be in the Etsy store, Open Skies Yarn, if you would like to go check it out. And yeah, I had fun making those, and I have a whole bunch of ideas for mini skein kits with colors. I just think these are perfect for, there are a lot of shells like on the Spice Market and Lefty and all these kind of shells that you use one main color, like a cream, and then you put in your minis, and it just goes beautifully, and you can kind of show off the minis in the thing. So I just like doing this together. And the themed stickers are pretty cool. It's like, if they say do what your 7-year-old self loves, my 7-year-old self was very big about stickers. And so it's nice that I get to, you know, occasionally do something now as an adult that involves stickers. And then, because it's been so long, my son made these forever ago, and he keeps asking me to put them up in the shop because I think he raised like a fourth of the amount. No, not even. I'm not sure how much these game system things actually cost. But, okay, so let's, probably a sixth, if I'm guessing conservatively, probably a sixth of the cost he needs for his game system. So he's been making these and asking me to put them up in the shop, but I just keep forgetting, and I haven't podcasted this month, that much in May and April because it's just been kind of crazy. But so we again have Jaden stitch markers, and he's getting better. He's so cute. They just need the little lobster claws attached to them. But we have hamburgers. He made some daisies because somebody asked for daisies. So they're a little green. I don't know how fragile they are because he did all these little parts to them. And you have more ice cream cones that are shaped like a little certain mouse. He's so cute. He did birthday cake with little strawberries on top. Flapjacks. And with butter on top of the flapjacks. And he did a baguette. So just so cute. And so those will be up in the shop too. A sweet boy who was, you know, be like, Mommy, are you gonna put those up? Mommy, please. So yes, I'm being a good mom and putting them up in the shop. Because yeah, it's been crazy this April and May have been crazy. And next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, I believe. And I talked about it earlier in the year that my best friend, who I've known since, I'm gonna get teary-eyed, since I was much younger, so as a kid, she's moving to Chile, and I really thought that, you know, we'd be able to go see each other and visit her a lot, but just looking at prices, my yarn business would have to take off a lot before I could go visit her, or even if we downsize the house a lot, it's not going to really be feasible for us. Plane tickets for 4 people or overseas are expensive, and the housing market in Chile seems to be doing pretty well. It's not somewhere where, like San Antonio, you can get a pretty cheap house. Like, we could not get a house this size almost anywhere else in a city because San Antonio has a very cheap cost of living, and I think it's probably more expensive in Chile than it is here. But anyways, my best friend is moving to Chile, the country, and she's getting ready to move, and you know, things took a little bit longer than I thought, but she's getting ready to move, and Memorial Day weekend is the last time I'm gonna get to see her for who knows how long. So I'm gonna miss her because she's like my sister, and she holds my past. You know, we've known each other for so long, and before either of us got married, we got married. Like, she came back from her honeymoon. She could be in my wedding. We were both in each other's, like, matron of honor, and we had our kids around the same. Like, it's just, she's a really important person to me, and she's family. So I am going to be spending Memorial Day weekend in Houston with my best friend. Our families are gonna kind of come and hang out, and our husbands really like each other too, which is nice, and the kids all love getting together. Maybe maybe my son and her daughter will get married one day and we can be in-laws. But that would be silly. But I'm gonna be spending next weekend with her. So as of right now, I'm going to say there either won't be a podcast, or maybe I'll put up a very short little blurb because I want to spend time with her, and I know I've gotten a lot of messages from people that are not happy that I haven't been podcasting consistently, and I'm sorry if that makes you not want to watch. I completely understand, and I'm glad that, you know, thank you for watching for the time that you have. And while I want to give you guys everything that you want and be the podcaster that you want me to be, I just want to spend some time with my best friend. So I apologize. There's going to be another weekend in May that I probably will not be podcasting, or it will be shorter. And I apologize to everybody that I will be upset from that. And I am behind on my Ravelry messages, kind of replying to people about that, you know, since I missed last week, and people upset. But yeah, so I hope you guys understand. I hope most of you understand that I really just want to see my best friend. And since Memorial Day is on a Monday, it's going to be Saturday through Monday, probably will be up there. And I might record something when I get back, but I'm not going to I'm not going to state it because I don't want to fail you. I don't want to say, I'm going to record next Sunday and then not, because we're too busy spending time together. So that's the podcasting schedule if you cared or even needed to know. I mean, I'm sure you have tons to do in your life, so you won't miss a week with me. But the book this week, okay, so I am so behind on my OwlCrate books. OwlCrate is a thing where you get like a book and little goodies in the month, and I've never done anything like this, and I'm probably gonna stop my subscription just because I'm so far behind, and really it's not really like a good, like I need to read the ones I have and stuff like that, and then maybe ask for it as like a Christmas present or something, so somebody else is buying it instead of me. But this is one of my OwlCrate books. It's the second one that I've read, and it is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. She also wrote the Lunar Chronicles, which I haven't read, but like Cinder, Scarlet, Winter something. Oh, it says right here on the back. Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, Stars Above, Fairest. But so she likes to kind of redo fairy tales. And I enjoyed this book a lot. It is basically a how did this person come to be this way. So it is a telling of how the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland, off with their heads, how she became to be an embittered person who was not very nice, and how she started as a young girl who loved baking and just really wanted to open up a bakery with her best friend, who is also so the young girl the book is about is nobility. And she really wanted to open up a bakery, sorry, my nose itches, with her best friend, who was, I guess, her maid in wait, like a servant in the household, or a maid in waiting almost, but I don't know if that would be the correct term. But so her friend Marianne and her were going to open up this bakery. But because she's so good at baking, and because her mother is very into, what if my daughter could be the queen, she started kind of getting her daughter to bring gifts of baked goods to the king. And the king is kind of described as this silly but jovial man who falls in love with her because of her baked goods and her beauty, and she's a lot younger than him, obviously. And she doesn't want to marry the king. She has no desire. She's not attracted to this older, corpulent man in any way, and she just wants to do a bakery. But her parents have basically told her, you have to do this. It's very much those like stereotypical gender roles and class system. And so there happens to be a new joker for the king, and he's this young, mysterious, handsome, good-looking man, and she happens to have a chance meeting with him, and they kind of like each other. And she starts to envision a different life for herself, where she has a bakery and she's married to a man she loves. But how can she make this life come about when her parents are forbidding it, and everyone in her life won't let her get out of her social norms? And she tries these different things, and stuff goes awry and stuff goes bad, and that badness leads to bitterness, which leads to off with their heads. So I feel like this would be a great, if you're going on a vacation this summer and you like YA and you're going to have time to just sit and kind of immerse yourself in a book, I think this would be a great book for that. And I've heard that it's not as good as like her Lunar Chronicles, but I haven't read those, so I don't have anything to compare it to. And I also heard some people say on Goodreads I read some people say on Goodreads, if you're reading this, be sure to have baked goods near you, because she does describe a lot of baking in very descriptive terms. So it did kind of make me crave desserts and stuff. But you could read it without having any baked goods, because I did. But yeah, so this is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And that is everything I have for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a great week and you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye guys.